Everyone talks about you switching up on your barber, but nobody talks about when your barber switch up on you. They switching up. They the ops. And this is probably how I accidentally created an op. Not from school, not from work, not from the streets, bro, from a haircut. I had a barber op. So boom, I had this barber, right? And at first, bro was nice with it. Like I would leave the chair feeling like I had life figured out. You know, when the haircut is so good, you start making plans immediately. You get in the car like, yo, I'ma have to text her. And then you start going to everywhere because you looking good. You hitting up the mall, stores. You going places you ain't have no business being because you just looking good. You feel me? You know? So he get me right. So I kept going back. And everything was cool for a while. He knew what I wanted. I tipped him good. I was loyal. I wasn't out there barber hopping like a man with no morals. Bro. Then one day I hit him up, basically asking for a cut. He says, yeah, come in Thursday at 1. So Thursday at 1, I'm there. I text him, bro, where are you? We good? And he's like, nah, bro. Nah, bro. I got hella clients in front of you. Like, can you reschedule? And I'm like, cool. I get it. Life happens. I'm not tripping. So I show up the day we reschedule. And I could you not, this man says again, actually, can you do Sunday? Now, I'm starting to feel like I'm trying to book a haircut with a celebrity, bruh. Like, I'm still being loyal. So I'm like, all right, like, I'm not finna switch up. But damn. So Sunday comes around and I'm sitting outside the barber shop. Not 5, not even 10 minutes. I sat out that shop for an hour and a half. And I was just wasting time, bro. Like, bro never showed up. So I'm sitting there testing, like, is he testing my fade? Like, what's going on? He texts me. I text him, where you at, bro? He texts me. He's like, can we do Wednesday? And I'm like, brother, my hair needed help 3 weeks ago. At this point, I don't need a barber. I need emergency services. So I unfortunately had to make the decision, not because I switched up on him, but bro, this dude switched up on me. I didn't abandon the barber client relationship. I was abandoned. So I went looking for a new barber. And y'all know, this is where the story gets worse. So I found this barber and he was in a little random spot, a little hut looking spot, you know, kind of outside of his house. And I probably should have known something was wrong when I walked in and I got handed a controller to play Fortnite. But listen, I do love me a good setup. But if I walk into a barbershop and there's a console in there, part of me is like, are we getting a haircut? Or did I pull up to an arcade? You know? But the guy was cool. Genuinely, he was one of the nicest guys you could meet. Good energy. We were talking. And so I'm thinking it's fine. You know? I sit in the chair. And around this time, I had just gotten broken up with for the first time. So emotionally, I wasn't really there. I didn't need much. I just need one clean haircut. I was trying to get back in the game. So I just need one. Just one. So I showed him a picture of what my last barber did. Literally a picture of my own head. I'm like, can you do this? You know, I didn't show him a celebrity cut, a Pinterest reference. You know, I didn't show him any of that. I showed him me. And I'm giving, like, bro, I can't. I showed him my own head, right? And I'm giving him the literal answer key, like, it's my head. This is the cut. I'm basically laying it out for you. So he's like, I got you. And sometimes I sentence, you know, you about to get blessed or you about to get fucked up, man. that's that's how it goes, man. So he starts cutting my hair, and we're talking about life, relationships, all that type of stuff you do in a barbershop usually. And we was chilling. Eventually, he gets done. He spins me around. He gives me that mirror. And bro, when I looked in that mirror, I didn't even see myself. I saw consequences. Bro, he messed me up so bad. I was sitting there like, it's a little different than what I wanted. And this is the type of haircut when you immediately start calculating how fast your hair grows. I'm sitting there thinking like, can I just start popping some bites and pills? This is bad, right? But I try to be respectful, and I'm like, man, this really isn't what I asked for. And he's generous about it. He's like, so like, what do you want to do? In my head, I'm like, go back in time, but I gotta be reasonable. So I'm like, bro, I still got a lot of hair left. I trust you. You know, do what you want to do as long as it looks good. We're good. And so he cuts it, and somehow my boy does worse. And at that point, I'm not even getting a haircut anymore. I'm watching a man lose a fight with my head, bro. And remember, I was already heartbroken. I'm already sad. I'm already going through it. So now I'm just looking in the mirror like, how am I supposed to heal from a breakup like a deleted character? How am I gonna get some O's? I couldn't. So I told the man, I'm like, hey, I can't pay you for this. Now I've never done that in my life. I always pay the barber if it's messed up. But like I said, I was sad. I was upset. So I told him, man, I can't pay you for this. And I know that sounds crazy, like I just said, but I was standing on business because, he didn't give me what I asked for in the first place. And then he made it worse when he tried to fix it. And he had a lot of playroom there. So I was like, this isn't even a service anymore. This is experience. And when I told him all this, like, he understood. He was like, all right, cool, whatever. I understand. So I walked out. And I was driving this little beat up van. So I get back in the van. I look at myself again. I start crashing out, bro. I start punching the steering wheel, and I'm like, bro, I'm chopped. I'm chopped. I'm never gonna get no home. I started. I was wanting to go out that weekend, but instead I was like, I need to focus on myself, bro. I need to go buy me a hat. You know, stop looking at people. I need to start staring at the ground when I walk around. But you might be like, oh, like that's normal, bro. We've all had a bad haircut. I don't think y'all have had this part happen to y'all, man, because that was just the origin story. Because months go by, me and that girl actually ended up getting back together. My sister gets engaged, so I take her out for dinner. Now, at the time, yeah, your boy was poor, so we didn't go nowhere fancy. We went to Chili's, and who would have thought that Chili's would have been a vulnerable place to be? We're sitting there eating, minding our own business, and then I see this guy walking toward our table. And he's walking with purpose. Like, he knows me. So in my head, I'm thinking, bruh, who is this? Like, am I about to get jumped in the middle of a Chili's, bruh? He gets to the table and goes, yo, is your name JJ? And I'm like, yeah, why? And he says, I cut your hair a while ago and you walked out and you didn't pay me. I'm sitting there, bro. I'm just like, in the middle of my head, bro. I didn't say anything. I was so taken aback. I was like, in the middle of a fucking Chili's? This guy's wild. So, I'm not gonna get defensive in front of everybody. We in a Chili's, and anyways, like, what am I supposed to say? And so I'm like, yeah, it's me, right? And then he starts going off on me, talking shit, and then he ends it off on the note where he's like, "Yo, your haircut is trash, by the way." Bro, which is insane because you were the last person who cut it, bro. That's like an arsonist pull it up and be like, your house is burned down. By the way, yeah, I know, bro, you did it. And after all this, he storms back to his family like nothing happened. Like he didn't just press me in the middle of a Chili's. And I'm sitting there like, no way I just got confronted by, I guess, my barber off now in the middle of Chili's. And I was like, this is crazy. This is some crazy lore. But don't worry, guys. I was the better man. There's a positive ending to this because eventually, like 8 months later, I started feeling bad because even though the haircut was terrible, brother still took his time. Like he still let me sit there in his chair and cry about life. So I call him up and I leave a voicemail and I'm like, hey man, I don't mind paying you now. I feel bad. You did take your time. I don't want you to catch me in the middle of Chili's again. And he was actually very cool about it. He left me a voicemail too, and he was like, bro, if you just take the Google review down, you're good. You made my day. So I go to take down the Google review. I never realized he responded to my Google review. My review was like, guys, this is the worst haircut I've gotten. Don't go to this guy. And this man responded back with some like, bro, I'd be mad too if my hairline was receding and my girlfriend broke up with me. Like, bro, this man trying to do like some psychological warfare? Like, no way this man just responded to the review. And bro was actually listening to my conversation because he really attacked my character. But I think what got it was the hairline, man, bro. Damn. So I had to respect it because I mean it was personal, it was calculated. Like bro hit me with that combo, you know. So we ended up settling it, and lucky for him, nah, probably lucky for me, the barber op came to a peaceful end, and I learned a valuable lesson. Everybody says don't switch up on your barber, but sometimes your barber will switch up on you, and you just gotta hope that replacement barber don't ruin your hair and becomes a reoccurring character in your life. So remember, man, be careful who you let touch your head because a good haircut could give you confidence. A bad one can ruin your your month. A barber with your personal information, oh man, bro, that man might ruin your character development. And don't get caught lacking in the middle of Chili's. No, like really, really don't do that. But y'all have a good one. It's been your boy JJ Yaps. We was back. I'm out of here.